Wow! Welcome back to the Red Wunz Go Fasta. Old Big Mick here, and it's Monday, I think, which means it's time for another hobby hangout. And this week, we're going to look at all the GORKAMORKA stuff. So let me spread all the things. We'll have a little break while we get everybody live, and once we get everybody on board, we'll get into it. All right, doodling. If you log on, make sure you pop into the chat so I know you're there. How is everybody doing this Squigmas? That. Hey, we got some people. Flybits, what's up? Empire. Yeah, I got the more Daka shirt on today. What is happening, fellas? Burden, hello. What are you fellas working on tonight for Hobby Hangout? I am still actually doing a lot better. Maybe we'll see if we can actually get some hobby done. But the actual thing we're doing, in case you haven't seen the thumbnail. Yeah, we've got 3 boxes to look at. So, it's going to be fun. Any questions, anything you want to see, throw them in the chat and stuff. I am sending the link to the patrons and the channel members and all that. Harry, wah! Come on. Bear with me. I'm getting... So, again, we've got the camera going on this, so I can't do the chat on it. So I've got that set up on the computer, and it's being a... I don't know what it's being. I need to whack it with a bigger hammer. There we go. Come on. Give everybody a chance to get signed in here. Did everybody catch the videos about Dawn of War 4 and Total War Warhammer 40K? Did you catch those? I've got more news on those, by the way. So if you haven't caught those, let me know so I can catch you up, and then I'll tell you the new stuff. Boop. There we go. Come on. Get it. Check the chat here. Burden Paradise. Yeah. We got lots of cool stuff to look at. It's going to be top notch. I don't know why this is not working over here. They got an extra... Hold on. They got an extra layer of bonkersness. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. Wow! Welcome everybody to the Red Wunz Go Fasta. Old Big Mick here. It is Monday, which we have been doing now for 3 weeks in a row with our live hobby hangout. Now, I know I'm backwards. It's still my left wrist that's broken. I don't understand this camera when I film in this orientation for the videos. Everything uploads on the right side, the right way. But then when I live stream, it doesn't do it. And no matter how many times I have played with the settings, it doesn't work. So I don't know what the dealio is here. And once again, yeah, see, I get all through that and nothing in there. So I don't know what the dealio is. But suffice it to say, we are doing a hobby hangout. So, as the thumbnail said, this week's hobby hangout is specifically GORKAMORKA. Okay, so those of you that weren't around for this back in the day. So this is a standalone, almost board game style game for orcs that was actually released as filler, believe it or not. So back in the day, Games Workshop, they didn't rely as much on regular Warhammer and 40K sales like they do today. They had, first of all, they had a ton of licenses. They made minis for dozens of different companies. They made the original D&D minis, you know, Lord of the Rings, all that kind of stuff. Judge Dredd was one of their licenses. But anyways, they released these like RPG games and standalone games like crazy. That's like where the original Space Hulk came from and all that stuff, right? Well, they needed a game and they didn't have anything kind of ready to go. And they had these kind of quick and dirty rules ready to go. And so they used orc models that they already had. These are all standard 40K orc models. And then they created this cardboard fort, threw the box together, thought it was going to be a one-time and done thing. Then sales went crazy, and they ended up making a whole line of minis that were GORKAMORKA specific, which we're going to get into. It's really kind of wild. I'm shocked that Games Workshop has never reproduced this. Hey, Shady Snakes, what is up? DC Reviews, perfect timing. I have to paint up a Gladiator Lancer and a Ballistus. Nice. I have a Ballistus I need to paint too. I have to decide on my paint scheme still. But yeah, we're doing a live hobby hangout. So yeah, hopefully you guys are doing some painting or some building, getting some work done on your armies. Shout out to my man Blissful Badger. I don't see him on here yet, but he threw up a video this week. He got his Imperial Knights army done, and it was such a satisfying video because he actually had time lapses from like back in June or July when he started it. And then like there was like, you know, a break, and then there was like September, and then there was like a break, and then there was November, and then there was a break, and he's like, okay, I got a game in 3 days, I gotta get this thing done. And especially when you can't actually get anything done, it was really satisfying to see somebody else like pull through all that. So shout out to my man on that. If you haven't seen it, go to Blissful Badger's channel to check that video out sometime tomorrow. Definitely recommend it. But anyways, we're talking about GORKAMORKA. So then, anyways, this thing came out in 1997. It dropped. So this came out right before 3rd edition 40K. So at this point, 2nd edition had been out for a while. It was starting to get stale. I don't know where Warhammer Fantasy was at that moment. I think it was right after it had launched. But yeah, anyways, they needed a game, and this is what they came up with. So let's pop this open and take a look inside. You know, with burdens at work for the next 4 hours. I'm sorry, man, but hey, at least this will help you pass the time at work. You know, that would be nice. DC Reviews Knights are languishing. Yeah, everything I own is languishing. So anyways, this is our original box, original artwork. And again, this has never been remade, reproduced, like sold again. Which is really strange because, like I said, Space Hulk was really popular, so they made, you know, multiple iterations of Space Hulk. The Warhammer Adventures was really good, and so like that's where we got. We're not gonna talk about Curse City, but it's like where we got Blackstone Fortress, and now the new one that just came out that I already forgot the name of, but has the really rad Nurgle guys in it that just went on sale. But yeah, they've had like all sorts of these games, but yeah, they've never ever gone back to GORKAMORKA despite its popularity. So anyways, pop that off, take a look inside. I'll show you the inside. Like I said, not empty in here. What we have in here is the parts of the fort. Well, I kind of can't show it to you because it's not back down. But yeah, when you got this, let's see if we can pull this. Here's the like damage chart stuff. So this was so cool. They've got, and again, I know it's reversed. I'm sorry about that. If you guys want to see this stuff, I'll throw photos up on our Discord. But this is all the movement rules, vehicles, ramming, boarding, and like here's your hit, wound, weapons, hand-to-hand, injuries. Like all of the rules fit on this card. Like, could you imagine playing 40K where this is all the rules? Like how much quicker and easier it would go? Darkwater, that's it. Thank you, DC Reviews. yeah, just kind of wild. Yeah, and look, you get 2 of them so that you got one and your opponent's got one. You don't got to share. You can both be reading it at the same time. Super trick. But this is the fort. And here we go. We do have... Read this first. So we do have the instruction booklet in here. Oh man, this is mint. It's got... These are your sheets to put your driver and all the stuff in there for your army. And then in here, here's your regular dudes, and they would get injured and stuff like that until, you know, they like literally died. This was way more RPG than like tabletop battlefield. But anyways, this fort. This is unpunched for the most part for this fort. And so this is just, it's just paper card. But you would punch this out and you'd fold all these things over and you would actually put it together with the cardboard and plastic. This is the way the original Necromunda was too. And I'm not sure, these might actually be the same tiles as Necromunda. I don't have a vintage Necromunda set, and my memory of what that piece actually looked like is long gone. But this is the plastic piece. And you can see where you can insert the cardboard all the way around the 3 sides there. But then also it's got this hook on top, and the cardboard pieces for the roofs would hook onto that. In fact, so some of this, it's not all unpunched. Some of it is punched. So I'm going to try to find some punched pieces to put them together, so I can show you how it works. Multilingual dig-a-knob. That's what this says on there. That's wild. This hab module or something. It's got a pair of slippers on the floor there. That's wild. Wild, I tell you. Now, one thing that I got to say about Darkwater that I think is actually really cool is the map book that it comes with. So it comes with this book, and it's a big book. And it lays flat, and it's the actual maps that you use to play Darkwater. And that actually looks really cool. I wonder if they're going to ever do anything like that, you know, for like Kill Team or anything like that. Would actually be, I think, kind of really rad. All right, that one is still pretty much unpunched. I'm trying to get to... They got just the glyphs on here and stuff, right? Like, look, you got all the orc glyphs on there. It's fantastic. There's so much in here. Last templates. Okay, so here's another back in the day thing. And this was true in 40K as well. These are blast templates. So back in the day, like your rocket launcher, it would have 2 different weapon profiles. So it would have frag and crack. And frag is fragmentation, and it would launch something like this that was lower strength, not as good armor penetration, but when it hit, you would actually put this on the tabletop, and then you'd roll a scatter dice. And the scatter dice would have an arrow on it or a hit. And you'd roll that with a d6. If you got a hit, it just stayed still. If you got the scatter, you would go d6 inches, whichever way the arrow went. So if you got a 3 in this way, you would then move this 3 inches this way. Everything that was touching this took the damage, which was really, really cool. The crack profile, it had stronger strength, better AP, but you only got the 1 shot. And so you would use crack against like a vehicle, but if you were shooting against infantry, you would use this to try to hit more things. And remember, back in the day, just about everything was only 1 wound. Like, it was literally pretty much only your army commander and like greater demons and stuff like that that had more than 1 wound. So if you got touched by one of these and you failed your armor save, you were out. So this was a fantastic way to chew through infantry. But as good as that was, it wasn't anywhere near as good as this. This is the Flamer template. Look at the size of that sucker. That thing is long, it's big, and once again, so all your flamethrowers, your scorches, and whatnot, this is what you would shoot with. You didn't roll the hit, you would actually just put this template on the board, and every single model that it touched took the hit automatically. It was so rad. I wish they would bring templates back. This is so much more thematic than having like just auto hits on scorches. This is cool. Okay, get into our... So there's actually, oh, hey, oh, so here's the actual Warhammer versions. So yeah, you got the paper ones in GORKAMORKA. I don't know if the plastic ones came in GORKAMORKA too, but these came in the 2nd and 3rd edition starters at least. I think 4th and 5th as well, at least 4th. Anyways, these came in starter sets, and they came in different colors. The 3rd edition ones, at least the ones in my box, were like a snot green color, and then my 4th edition ones were like an atomic orange color. But then yeah, there's these clear ones too. I've also seen them in blue. I think that was the Apocalypse set. But yeah, these are awesome. There was a larger version of this for like the tank based frag weapons. So like you'd launch your Griffin mortar for your Imperial Guard. It would have a bigger version that we called the pie plate. So that's pretty darn cool. Okay, anyways, so we got a bunch of these wall pieces, different styles. So there's and the like X brace, and then there's this one with the ladder and a closed off brace, and it's cool because this side is like a big door, and that side is like 4 smaller doors or something. So it's cool that they even like they molded it different side to side. There's this piece which is the ladder with the like Gothic windows. And then there is the regular doorway. So yeah, you can see like a lot of parallels between like the boarding action strain, all the stuff from the Gallo Dark. It got its inspiration from these back in the day. But yeah, you would put these together with the cardboard. And I thought there was cardboard that was already punched for this, because I wanted to show you how these hooks work. But I'm not seeing it in this box. But that's okay, because we've got more than one box to look at. So let me put all this sweet vintage unpunched stuff back in here. And grab the actual fort. I still love that this thing is called Multilingual Dig-A-Knob. Like I said, I know yours is backwards, but it's such a wild thing to put on there. Okay. We'll switch to the back of this so you can see. So that's what the fort looks like all put together. And the door here actually functions, and you've got this big tower up here. And yeah, there's like entrances to dugouts. There are these tank traps, good old-fashioned whippy sticks. Some more tank traps, some barrels. And then yeah, you got the truck, the war track. So yeah, it was 2 trucks, 2 war tracks. I don't think very many boys. You got like 6 or 8 of them in there. And that was the original, the OG, the box set. Oh, that's from the Dig-A-Knob expansion set. Oh, so that's a different fort than the fort I have that's built. So I got 2 different forts. Yeah, because this isn't the expansion box. This is the OG box. Right? Yeah. 12 work boys, 2 trucks, 2 tracks, battlefield accessories, 6 plastic bulkheads, rules, overbook, 2 whippy sticks, 10 dice, cardboard fort, card counters. Dude, sweet! Okay, well, let me get you the original fort. Okay. Little hard to grab with the one paw. Has stuff from Skid Crash Site. Hey, the Flukes and Nashers, wow! So I actually bought most of the stuff in this box back in October from a viewer named Brian. And Brian lives, or goes by Rogue Trader Secondar. He lives in the same state as me, and he was like, "Hey, man, I've got this stuff. Are you interested in it?" And he so kindly, he made copies of the rules to send, so that I could have them. And then, yeah, I kept coming across this stuff, and I've been putting all of this together as a unintended collection. But here is the fort. You'll see it's got these little sections in it, right? And you put the tab in the little hole, and that's how you actually build the fort. And you can see this has got the plastic thing on there, and the way that the cardboard connects to it. So like there's the plastic there, right? And so we got a cardboard piece on the front and a cardboard piece on the back, and it's actually like, this is sturdy. Like, this works, and it's got this great parapet up top for your boys to go on. I love the little dugout, little armor door sections and things. It's so thematic to play on. And then we've got, this is the watchtower. Now the watchtower's taken some damage. It's supposed to be glued together up there. Yeah, you'd actually glue together these pieces for the watchtower. Oh, dude, the Flus and Ashes, you got a bunch of those plastic panels. So, riddle me this. Do you know, are those plastic panels the same as the ones from Necromunda back in the day? I have a feeling that they are, but I don't remember. I didn't own Necromunda back in the day, and I haven't seen it in forever. The Watchtower. Yeah. There's a Watchtower and a Watchtower. See, this one needs to be glued together. So I don't know how much of this, you guys can see like the old glue on here from decades. I mean, I think about this thing is darn near 30 years old. It is 28 years old. It'll be 29 in a couple of weeks. And so for it to be holding on still, despite being made out of cardboard, is pretty darn impressive. You believe they're the same? Okay, I thought they were the same. So yeah, if you were real crafty, you could pick up a Necromunda set to go with your GORKAMORKA set, combine them all together. This is the bunker entrance. This was one of my favorites. So you've got the big armor door, right, to help battle with. Have you seen the Orc Prospector best Orc model ever? Anonymous Prime, I have seen it. I have not seen one in person in probably 25 years. I would love to get my hands on it. The Prospector, I've got 2 Orc models right now that are on my hunting list because I've been finding my grails like crazy. In fact, I'll show you a couple of them here in a bit. But yeah, the Prospector, and for those of you that don't know, Google it. If you Google Warhammer Orc Prospector, it's going to pop right up. It was one of the models that set the tone for what modern day orcs look like. Because prior to this guy, and the other one, which is the Shaman, orcs looked like goblins. They had like kind of the big noses. They were kind of weedy looking. They had like great big giant ears and stuff like that. The Shaman and the Prospector both got the long face, right? With like the scrunched up nose way up here and the big giant mouth and kind of like the little squinty eyes and just kind of made the modern orc look. And the Prospector, he's got a pickaxe and then he's got this huge pack on him. And it is just full of gubbins. And he's got this really cool Prospector hat on. And he's just one of like coolest minis. He has got drip for days. I would really like to get my hands on him. The other one that I was talking about, the Shaman, he's also got the long face like that. He's got all robes and he's got this gnarled like leg bone that is his stick. And yeah, he's just oozes cool. They're both like super duper old metal models. They're from the like mid 90s, early 90s. But yeah, they predate my collection, and I would love to add them to it. Flus and Ashers, you could cut out your own cardboard and slide into those panels to build your own terrain. Yeah, that was the great thing, is that it was modular. So as long as you copied the tab system, you could make your own whatever you wanted and use these panels to interact. And back in the day, once again, man, if you missed out on this, you used to be able to get a Citadel Miniatures catalog, and it was about this thick. It was like a phone book. And every single piece that Games Workshop made had its own individual part number. So even like metal models, right? You'd have like the body, right? But there'd be like the left arm and the right arm and the backpack and the like gubbins or whatever. Each one of those would have a part number, and you could order individual parts. You could also order individual sprues of plastic. And so they'd have a sprue with, these wall panels on it. And you could order just plain sprues of the wall panels, and then you could be building your own terrain like crazy and build these great big giant projects, and it didn't cost that much because you were buying individual parts instead of whole kits. I really miss those days. All right, check this out. This is the door. So it's got the really cool orky face on it. And how it works is you could actually open and close it. It's got the whole sliding mechanism is built in all, and this is all cardboard. This was all engineered with the cardboard, but you put it together right, and it would work going up and down, so that you could open the gates, let your boys in or out, and then close them up and not let anybody else come inside. That's super duper cool. Yeah, and honest, the catalog was a Kit Bash dream. You know, I kicked myself. I used to have multiple copies of the catalog. I had the great big blue one, which was like 98, and I had the orange one, which was like 2000, 2001. I might have had one from after that too, when they started to get smaller, but I know for sure I had those two. I cannot find them to save my life. I don't think I sold them when I sold all my armies, because I kept all my books. Like, I have my original third edition, you know, like rule book and Space Marine Codex and stuff like that. So I don't think I would have sold them. Not to mention they really weren't worth money, you know, back in the early 2000s. But man, I cannot find them, and it would have been super duper sweet to get my hands on them. Anyways, I see there are a lot more of you on there now. Welcome. We are looking at a bunch of GORKAMORKA stuff. So I have unintentionally started a GORKAMORKA collection without even knowing it, and it's gotten quite cool. Yeah, the mail order trolls, dude. I've got a whole box full of the mail order troll stuff back in the original Skulls promotion, where you buy things and you get these little Skulls things, stickers, and you put them on the form, and once you got to a certain number, you could trade them in for things, plus the things that traded them in for. Yeah, and they'd give you these mailers, so when you mail ordered every month, there'd be a different flyer in the mail order box. So you wanted to mail order every month so that you could get this flyer that told you different things that like weren't even in the white dwarf. It was really, really cool. Yo, Lego Master, got your first Orc Boys kit. So right on. Welcome to the WA. I hope you guys are ready for 11th edition next year, when us Orcs are going to be the big bads. All right, let's see. What else we got on this? Oh, so this really shows you like how smart this is. So here's like a piece, right? And you would actually bend that over. And, you know, obviously this one was all tabbed in there. And that's how you would make this 3D wall structure out of that 2D piece of paper, cardboard. But my favorite part were the roofs. Like, look at, you get these like complicated bends on here and then extra pieces and stuff to like make these really detailed tower roofs and hut roofs and things like that. Gotta have yourself some Red Squid. You know what's, before I got the kit, I already snagged some toy vehicles, Kit Bash Wars. Perfect. Oh, this is from the Diga set too, Anonymous Prime? This is from the Diga set? I might need to inventory this way more carefully. Welcome to the upgrade to Lego bricks. I mean, the two most expensive hobbies of all time are Warhammer and Lego, right? So if they ever had like an officially licensed Warhammer Lego, we'd all be broke. Yeah, because if these roofs are from the Diga set, I happen to have a few. Like, ooh, they're literally falling down like Jenga blocks now. Let's see, there's 3 of those big ones. They could take my money. Hey, if there's somebody that like truly collects these and like you want this stuff, let me know, man. And I'm not gonna rake you over the coals for it. I'd much rather it goes to somebody that like super duper duper appreciates it. I was not intending to collect this. It just kind of happened. And basically I've got an idea for one video, and then I was gonna be done with it. I don't collect vintage orc stuff outside of a couple of models. because it's just too much. I don't have the kind of money to be an old hammer collector outside of like the things that I already owned. Even just coming across a third edition Gazgul took me months and months and months and months. So, if you are a proper old school collector, if you are a GORKAMORKA collector and you really want this stuff, let me know. I'll be super fair about it. And thank you for the donation, by the way, Anonymous Prime. I really appreciate it. That is super duper duper cool of you. Which, hey, if we do that, we can do all sorts of fun things. If we do that. All right, so I threw a little goal out there. YouTube keeps pushing these things. If we actually like make the goals, it you know how there's like the button now on the videos where you can hype it? If you make your goals in your live streams, YouTube hypes it for you, which is really, really important for small creators like me because it's the channels that have tens of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of subscribers that get pushed all the time. So when you're a little guy, like there's not a lot out there. So they've been coming up with these little thingies like this to help us little guys grow. And that's been really nice. It seems so common to start collecting by accident. Yeah, I collect a lot of things by accident. Spectre, there was a time when GW gave away GORKAMORKA if you subscribed to White Dwarf. Dude, no way. See, GORKAMORKA came out right before I got serious into 40K. Like, I came into 40K in 98. Prior to 98, like, I was aware of it, but I was more Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and like, I just it wasn't on my radar. Second edition was more RPG than tabletop battle game still. I mean, it was still tabletop battle game, don't get me wrong. But it had like all the wild like psychic rules and stuff like that. And the models just honestly weren't there yet. I mean, you guys have seen second edition orcs, right? Do I need to show you again? I mean, that's the orc that comes in the starter set, and he's tiny. He's like the size of a grot today. So this just didn't interest me, but the Warhammer Fantasy Battle stuff did. Bretonnians and things like that. So it was when FAO and the models all got their first size glow up. That's what drew me into 40K. So I kind of missed the boat on GORKAMORKA. Like I remember seeing some of it still in the hobby shops and stuff when I started getting into it. But you don't have a lot of money. You kind of had to like pigeonhole yourself into the one game you were playing and not buy a bunch of other stuff. And I wasn't an orc player in third edition, so none of this stuff was useful to me. Dog Pound General, how's the arm holding up? The arm is here. So I went, those of you that don't know, I shattered my wrist back in October, like October 6th. I had to have surgery on it. The surgery didn't take. I had to have a second surgery on it. And so I actually have a metal plate, titanium plate in here. So I'm a cyborg now. And then another one that holds what's called the critical corner in. And so there's like, I don't know, 20 screws or something like that. But when they did the second surgery, they also put in a dorsal plate. So it goes from here to here on the top part of my arm, and it prevents my wrist from doing this at all. Like I literally, I cannot do anything like that with this arm. And that's to stabilize everything internally. And then I still needed the cast for external. The first cast was red, so I healed faster. But that cast was terrible, and it restricted the movement on my hand. So we got that one removed, and I went with blue for lucky, and the lucky seems to be holding out, knock on wood. So the next appointment is next week. So after the live stream next week, the following morning is when I get this taken off, they x-ray it again, and then either I'm going to get another hard cast, or if I'm lucky enough, I get a soft cast. And the soft cast is nice because you can take that off because you can't get this wet. So like, when you shower and stuff, you got to put this like giant bag on and wrap your arm off and hold it up like this so it doesn't get wet. But it makes things like washing dishes and stuff like that really hard. But also it makes hobbying really hard because I have to be like super careful that I don't like get my hand really dirty or like glue in my fingers or paint or anything like that because I can't like get my hand in water to scrub whatever it is off. So it's really, really, really living. But yeah, so next Tuesday morning, this comes off and hopefully we will get a soft cast. So very, very, very close now. We are, what, 8 days away? Yeah, 8 days away. So yeah, that is how the arm is feeling. But yeah, I'm gonna need a third surgery sometime in January or February to take the dorsal rod out so that my wrist can move again. And we don't know yet. You got to see how everything healed and talk to the mad doc and all that. But they might be able to take out the big main plate in the front too. But the little specialty plate that's holding the critical corner in is never coming out. So with that one never coming out, we might leave this one in just to like provide stability. But this one definitely has to come out. So I got a scar here that's kind of like a T shape. They went into the same spot here both times, but the top is really kind of gnarly. There's a scar here and a scar here, and they're about that big for the rod that goes through. So yeah, you could almost, not really, but yeah, it basically starts right where the cast goes. It goes from like there to there, and then the same thing here. Yeah, I can't quite move the cast enough to show you, which is, I'm sure, probably on purpose. But yeah, and then I've got pre-existing scars from surgery from the military. So yeah, I am a scar boy and a cyborg. So, 5 up, invulnerable, 6 up, feel no pain. It's good timings. Flus and Ashes, so nostalgic. Man, we're going to get even more nostalgic. We are just scratching the surface of this fun stuff tonight. Shady Snakes, probably already said it, but do you have a bunch of GORKAMORKA models or mostly the forts? Mostly the forts and mostly the models. All of the above. And again, these all came in different lots. So how it started was, like I said, Rogue Trader, what was his name? Rogue Trader Seconder. He's the one that sent me the fort. He was like, hey, are you interested in a fort? And I was like, yeah, like I really, because I'm going to do the modern version with the Necromunda fort kit, right? Remember we bought that in October? This kit right here, the Gang Stronghold, I'm going to orcify this up. And so my idea was I wanted to get the GORKAMORKA fort to go with the Necromunda fort so that I could show the progress of time and also kind of copy its layout and all that kind of stuff. And then I was gonna, I don't know. I hadn't really figured out what I was gonna do with the fort after that, but I had the fort. And then I did a trade for a lot of things, and in that lot was a bunch of figures. And then I did another trade where in the lot was a bunch of vehicles. And then I ended up getting contacted by a viewer who was like, hey, I have an empty GORKAMORKA box that I'm not using or anything. Do you want it to put up on your display? And I'm like, yes. Like, even if I'm not going to collect GORKAMORKA, having the box would be rad. Well, he sent the box, and inside the box was that Diganob fort because, hey, he didn't realize that the box had stuff in it. So he decided to throw it in and send it on its way. So I ended up with 4 or 5 different lots of things that all came in within a few weeks of each other. And suddenly I had this collection. So yeah, it's kind of wild. Yeah, now I just need some DACA. On my arm, I just need some DACA. I've been telling the Grots that I'm going to, when I go in for the surgery, they're going to make the titanium rod in here come in and out like Wolverine's, claws, but I just have the one. I think that'd be sweet. That would be rad. But yeah, I don't know how he moves his wrist. How does Wolverine move his wrist with those claws in there? Because I can't do it. Anyways. Okay, Anonymous Prime. GORKAMORKA game brought the trucks and tracks. Glad to hear the arm's getting there. Remember not finding GORKAMORKA interesting because the terms used seem to dumb down the whole Orc 40k lore in game. Yeah, there was a little bit of that too. Orcs were still kind of just football hooligans back then. They weren't as fleshed out as they are today. on the surface, people are like, oh, orcs are so dumb. They're really nuanced today. I mean, especially if you've read the Gazgul Thraka book, that book is fantastic. That is one of the best deep 40K books that has ever been written. Like, no joke. Not even like from the orc perspective, but just like the whole universe, the setting in and of itself, how the different races interact with each other, the thousands of years of history between them, and just like great big giant picture things like chaos gods and GORKAMORKA and stuff like that. It's really, really nuanced and interesting. And one of the best pieces of lore for orcs actually came out in the third edition Eldar Codex, which was that little blurb from one Eldar to another, going, who are we to judge them? That we think we're so superior. Like, our whole race is dying. We're all depressed. Everything is terrible. But to orcs, this is the best galaxy ever, because all they want to do is fight, and all we do is fight with each other. So we are just providing them with entertainment. And just the way that was put, that philosophy was really, really interesting and cool. But yeah, so anyways, I keep digressing. Hey, look, more digging out things. I keep digging out things. Some more walls, some more pieces. Yeah, I should inventory all this and see if I have all of the pieces or a lot of the pieces. But yeah, again, if you're big into collecting this stuff, and you want to hit me up, hit me up. You see, the blades are stored in Wolvie's forearm, spraying past his wrist when he snicks them out. And see, so that's the part I don't get. Because, okay, I used to read comics back in the day, especially Marvel, especially Wolverine, was my favorite one. But when he does the snick thing, you would usually see in the artwork his hand would come down like this so that the claws would come out. But yeah, man, after like dealing with this, I can't imagine like the force of that. Like, I know his skeleton is covered in adamantium, but like, think about like holding, a rod out of the back of your hand, and then you hit it with something, it's gonna like bend and deflect. I don't know, man. I don't know. I forgot to mention earlier with the orc stuff, I bought some orc resin bits off eBay, and I can't wait to have them. Ooh, bits are the best. Bits are the absolute best. Speaking of bits, Mindtaker Miniatures is doing, if you're local, I don't know how many of you are local, there's a couple of you that are, but Mindtaker Miniatures is doing on the 20th, so in 5 days, they are doing a RPG thing in the store, but you build your character out of the bits bin, which just sounds awesome. I really kind of want to go do this, where it's like a D&D style thing, right? You like make a character, but then you got to like find the bits in the bits bin and build it right then and there. And your homeboy here would rock that part of it. We'd end up with a Gorkanaut or something like that in like 10 minutes, and it would be functional. You guys know how I get passionate. If I had unfettered access to the entire bits bin on my own, oh yeah, it's going down. It would. The DM would murder me and break my other arm. All right. Need a Mac boy to build me a watch. Dude, so there's actually... I'm into watches, in case you didn't know. And no, not expensive watches. Do I have that kind of money? This is just a Seiko. But you can build your own watches. There's a bunch of different kits online now where you can, like, the movement is already together, but you get, like, the dial and the the crown and everything like that, the case back, and you can put it all together yourself, and you can customize all the parts, which is really cool. And Seikos, you can buy aftermarket parts for these to change them on your own. So if you like watches and you like tinkering, there's a lot of stuff out there. I got into buying really, really cheap vintage watches, like 1970s Timexes. You could pick them up like literally a dime a dozen. But you can still get the movements for them like really cheap, and replace the mechanical movements in them and restore them and have like these really cool pieces. So yeah, watches are fun. The little mechanical gubbins. All right. I promised you more than just forts, so here we go. Truck number 1. So those of you that haven't seen the GORKAMORKA trucks, they are positively tiny. There's the engine underneath the bed, just 4 wheels. This is the OG orc truck. Yeah, the electronic Casio watches. So that's like the G-Shock. The G-Shock is like an indestructible watch. That's what Business Grot is into. She's got two of them, and she's acting multiple more. That's her jam. That she can go bonkers, fall out of trees, those kind of things, and smash into things. And it's not going to hurt the watch. She thinks they're really, really rad. Plus, Eminem wears a G-Shock, so it's got to be pretty cool. What did I miss? He said, as if he was not going to rewatch the replay. Yeah, yes. So I always put my live streams up on YouTube immediately. It takes a little while for YouTube to get it up there, but they will get it up there, and I leave them up there forever. So if you guys ever want to revisit a live stream, you can, or if you want some background noise while you're doing your hobby stuff, I do that for you. So yeah, it'll be up as soon as we're done. But yeah, so live look. Here's the truck. Now look at how tiny the orcs are, even compared to. Here's our second edition orc boy, who again, this is the size of a grot today. Look at how tiny the driver is next to it, man. These guys are absolutely ridiculously small. This thing is super small. You can actually fit this in the bed of the current truck. That's how small these are. All I was thinking, they're just stunty. They haven't grown yet. They're like teenager boys. You know what I mean? Wife would find a way to break a G-Shock on accident for sure. That'd be impressive, honestly. That would be impressive. Random eBay parts lot of Cromlech torsos mechanic. Ooh, I like the mechanical legs. Those are super fun. Mech Boss Buzzgod, nice. Yeah, I guess scrubber well. So that's my hard part with resin bits, is having to wash everything, and then you don't breathe the particles. You want respirator on while you're sanding resin. And again, I get this from doing the scale models. I've done resin kits and things like that. That stuff is super nasty. I'd much rather work with plastic or metal. At least that's not going to kill me immediately. But I really love what they can do with stuff these days. I'm waiting for the day that it's FDM bits and they have no layer lines in them, and they're getting really, really, really close. That's going to be a great day. Right? Yeah, exactly. Same as orcs come in all sizes, right? You remember, the more they fight, the bigger they get. These guys have just kind of only been in like a little verbal spat. They haven't gotten into a big fight yet. You gotta, that's the whole point of the GORKAMORKA game, is so they can fight each other and get bigger. It makes sense. Maybe she's a weird boy because she breaks everything. That's funny. All right. Now, outside of the truck, there was also this. This is the buggy. So the buggy uses the same wheels and tires. There we go. The same wheels and tires and stuff. And the same type of driver, although he's got different arms. And then this gunner that stands up. And the gunner guy is hilarious. First of all, he's got a top knot. This guy is a dead ringer for DeGoff Rockers, which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen yet, DeGoff Rockers, who do the intro out and outro songs on the channel, they are releasing their brand spanking new single, Three Little Grots, tomorrow. It's in like 24 hours. It might either be tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, depending on where you are. But it's their brand new single. It is the song they are telling me they are most proud of. They've put the most work into, like it turned out the best. And then after it, there's going to be more. They're coming out with like a whole brand new album. This is just the first drop. So I will have a link to that on my YouTube and in the Discord. It'd be really, really rad if you guys checked it out when it came out, because these guys are a hard-working band, and they're a real band. The Goth Rockers tour. They play at festivals and shows all the time. They've been kicked out of Adepticon so many times they can't even like play anywhere near the host hotel anymore. I mean, these guys flat out get it, right? They rock. And but yeah, this new song is gonna be a banger. So definitely check that out. Oh, Thanatron, thank you. Thank you so much. I super appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, YouTube, man, they're trying to help us little guys out, and one of the things they do is by being able to do these chats and things. If we make our goals, they boost the channel, and that gets us out to more people. Then we get more people into the WoW, right? Which we need, because we're going to be the big bags in 11th edition, which is super rad. BC, that old truck kit is nice for parts. Planning on using the bed. Yeah, so I did that too. I used the bed from one of these on that Every kit is an orc kit where I turned the Dread Knight, the Nemesis Dread Knight, into a kill rig. I used an old orc truck bed for the second layer, the kill rig thing too. See, these are great for parts. But anyway, so there's the truck and then there's the buggy. The buggy's engine is this funky thing on the back that kind of just looks like a steam radiator. It's really bizarre. I actually converted one of my new orc trucks with one of these engines just to be silly. But yeah, this thing's got this platform in the middle, and there's all sorts of things that would glue into this to make the different buggies. And to show you even better, and again, this came from a different lot. This isn't even the same part of the 4 lots that we had here to get the GORKAMORKA stuff in the first place. Was this. I picked this one up at Mindtaker. This is the Space Orc War Buggy, and this is the 40K box as opposed to the GORKAMORKA box. But look at that artwork. Look at that boy. That hair squig is majestic. It is perfection. And, once again, pockets ain't empty. Inside this box is a fantastically painted orc buggy that they were going for the factory paint job with. And what I want to do is I'm going to do a whole video, again, once I have 2 working paws, where I finish painting this in the box art style. So with all the little flames on the fenders and stuff. You guys will have to pardon me, the grots brought home some Nurgle rot and makes the throat a bit itchy. But here's the rest of the parts for it. And you can see we got the banner. And yes, that banner comes printed like that, which is great. So if you want to reproduce it, it's easy. But this particular one's got the Scorch on it. And then there's the driver and the gunner. So I got to get this finished out. And look, it even comes with OG decal sheets to do the decals on there. And then there's... So these are 1991 transfers. So these are from like 6 years before GORKAMORKA. Look at those. So the idea was you could use the transfers to do the yellow flames that are on the box art, even though on the box art really they're painted. But I thought it was cool as heck that they gave you the transfers for it. And I mean, these 2 glyphs right here are perfection. I am so stoked with this. And that's not even the only one. There's also this one. So check it out there. You got the little snake bites, got some bad moons, just all sorts of really fun glyphs. So these were, 1991 Space Orc transfers. Yeah, so these things are what, 30, they'll be 35 years old in a couple weeks. Isn't that crazy? And these are still good, honestly. So these water slide transfers, so they do what's called silvering. You'll notice that 2 of these are pretty white still, and this one's kind of blue. That's just the backing paper. That doesn't matter. You can actually tell that on the back. But the silvering is, you see how it's kind of turning yellow on the clear part of the decal? That's the carrier film kind of breaking down over the years. You can see it on the white ones too. You can actually like re-varnish these to help hold them together and still use them. Like reusing vintage decals is something that scale modelers do quite often, which is pretty rad. But yeah, so we got all the parts for him. We got the actual buggy, and then in here we also have his instruction book, which has, once again, in like multiple languages, the data sheet, just like you get today. You get the data sheet inside the instruction book. So I've got this super rad, not GORKAMORKA. Again, this predates GORKAMORKA by quite a bit. I don't know what year this box was, because the box doesn't even have a, or yet does. Gotta put my actual specs on. The only reason I don't wear these on camera, by the way, it's nothing to do with like not caring which way, what I look like. I like my glasses. It's, you see the light ring? That looks terrible. And yeah, so the glare from that really sucks. So that's why I never have the glasses on while we're doing this, but I do need them. 1996. So this particular box is 1996. Even though the decals are 91, the box is 96. So this box predates GORKAMORKA. You were also able to get these in a box that said GORKAMORKA on it instead of Warhammer 40K. So that's the buggy. So now we've got the truck, we've got the buggy, and then there was the track. So this is a war track. It's based on the war bike. So the front part here is actually the same as the war bike of the day, but then it has this half track back section with the exhaust pipes on there. This is the same gunner dude, or same style of gunner dude as the buggy. You see he's missing his top knot, and it uses a similar type of mount and weapons. And so your war tracks could have different weapons on them too, just like the war buggies. So when we see all the different Speed Freak buggies that we have today, this is what they're all based in. It was the fact that we had these different chassis back in the day, and then you had different weapons on them, which would change what they were. You could have scorches, you could have big shooters, you could have rocket launchers, and there were specialty models you could get that had metal parts too. So this is a Wartrack Scorcha. So it actually has a tanker trailer that comes with it, and it's supposed to have a turret that has a heavy Scorcha in it. I had one of these that was all like together. It wasn't mint or anything, but it was really cool, and I either sold it or gave it away. I gave it away in one of our contests, even though I really loved it. Growing the channel, let that one go. But yeah, now I've got this one that's kind of in pieces. Now, let's talk boys. Oh, hey, I better catch up on the chat. I didn't see you guys chatting away down here. Let's see. Yeah, Swift, it is going to be the biggest best ball I've ever seen. Okay, intermission. You guys have seen the two videos I put out on Dawn of War 4 trailer and Total War 40K trailer, yes? If not, plug your ears, because spoiler alert. In those videos, I talk about how some of the things in the releases tell us new orc models. For example, the War Boss in Dawn of War has been updated to the new Mega Armor, but has a Power Claw, which is not something we can currently use, and has a Shock Jump generator on his back, which is bonkers cool. I also show how there is a new style knob in the, and we're not talking about the beast stack, we're talking about a regular knob. There's a regular knob. He's the last guy seen when it turns to red. That's a knob, and he looks like the monopose sculpts, but as a knob, which is rad. And then the Beast Boss is a brand new character, and they confirmed, the developers confirmed in their own video after I put mine out. They had done like a live stream Q&A thing that then got posted, that he is a named character, and he actually starts off on the Squigosaur. You knock him off the Squigosaur, that's why his war gear doesn't match the regular Beast Boss, but he is a named Beast Boss character. So there's a chance we might get him on the tabletop too. But I pointed out that there were some things missing from that trailer, and then we got the Total War 40K trailer, and I pointed out even more things that are missing. That trailer shows a zillion battle wagons and Def Dreads, and not a single truck. So we are more than likely getting a brand new truck. And everyone's like, well, how do you know this? If you read Games Workshop's financial reports, their annual reports, and their contracts and stuff, they stipulate when they work with a third party, like the people that make the mobile games and the PC games and all that stuff, and even like the merch stuff, the stuff that is made has to match the assets that Games Workshop provides for them. There is very little straying from that. So if the model on the tabletop changes, the asset in the game changes too, and vice versa. And we've seen this multiple times play out. The latest one was Cathay. Cathay was in Total War Warhammer. Now we have Cathay on the tabletop, and they all match the ones that are in the video game. But one thing that I saw since I did these videos is they've released some stills of Total War 40K, and in those stills there are Mega Knobs. I regret to inform you that they are identical to the current Mega Knobs. Nobody tell Wa Tactics. He's gonna be mad because he's like me. He hates the Mega Knobs. The current Mega Knobs are really squat and really boxy. But no, the assets are in the video game. They are fully rendered. There's a front shot and a back shot. I'll post the photos in our Discord. We are not getting new Mega Knobs in 11th edition because they do match the current ones literally 1-to-1, and they look like the Mega Knobs, not the War Boss and Mega Armor. So that is disappointing. But just kind of like let everyone know that that's kind of pretty much confirmed now. All right, back to the chat. Swift, an AOS Arcanaut frigate building and painting as a Christmas gift. Ooh, that's cool. No decals in it, really? Oh, wow. Well, come to think of it, I don't know that I've seen any Age of Sigmar decals because Business Grot built a giant. We got the Dominion set. We ended up selling I tried to use the Gut Ripper, the stupid Swamp Orcs, and they sucked, and ended up selling them or giving them all away. But it didn't come with any decals. None of our other Stormcast Eternals came with decals because she ended up building a huge army. And then she went and got into the Goblins and Squigs. I forget what they're called. They're the ones that worship the Bad Moons. So it's not the Iron Jaws. She doesn't like the Orcs. It's specifically the Goblins. But none of those kits have come with decals either. And I'm struggling to think of any AOS army that would actually have decals. Because even like Cities of Sigmar, they just paint everything. I don't see decals on it. So yeah, there might not even be AOS decals, come to think of it. Orcs need more do-rags. Absolutely, BC. Orcs need do-rags. I think do-rags work on orcs, and I know Wa Tactics would agree with me. Y'all should tag that and send that to him. So tempted to convert it to a freebooted vehicle for my own army, but then it'd be short of Christmas gift. That's always the problem, right? When you're building Warhammer for somebody else, you're like, I can loot this. Yes, and I'm sorry, I need to bring back the Scorcha track. So the custom Boosta Blasta is supposed to be sort of like that because that's exhaust pipe shootout fire. It's not the same. Having a Scorcha on a turret and then carrying the Prometheum tank behind you and like being able to like accidentally blow yourself up, peak orkiness for sure. Hey, Adventures Built Gaming. Yeah, GORKAMORKA. We are covering a ton of GORKAMORKA stuff. We've discovered that I actually own a expansion Diganob fort as well as the GORKAMORKA fort, and we've been looking at the trucks and the buggies and the tracks, and we're about to get into the boys. But we keep getting sidetracked with other things to talk about because there's been so much stuff going on with the orcs as of lately. Yeah, an orc tanker with the Scorch would be awesome. Yeah, so Sedmesh, it's not so much the boxy, it's how squat they are with the boxy. They're just kind of not very big. But also like if you've looked at the new War Boss and Mega Armor, the one that came out in the first Combat Patrol, the Monopose guy, that update to the armor is just so cool and so dynamic, and so, but it still has that that tough aesthetic, and so it was like, oh, if you could mimic that onto the regular Mega Knobs, that would be super duper cool. But yeah, man, it looks like we're not getting new Mega Knobs, so, which is disappointing. Hey, Deflus and Ashes, thank you, friend. That is 2 to our goal of 5, which again would give YouTube, would automatically boost the channel and help us grow the WA. So that would be absolutely fantastic. Super appreciated. 35 years of Orc and GORKAMORKA nostalgia. Oh, we're gonna get even deeper into it. Yeah, BC, that Cargo 8 trailer. So in the chat, BC is talking about the new Necromunda truck. There's a Cargo 8 truck and there's a Cargo 8 trailer. And then you can put the not the crate, what the heck are those things called? We have them in real life. The big giant, like what they put on the trains and the trucks and stuff. Container. You can get the container and put the container on it, but they also have ones with Prometheum tanks, which are fantastic. So yeah, you could totally build yourself a modern giant Scorcha. But yeah, Visual Game. Oh, your OG fort is unpunched. So my OG fort is punched and built, but my Diganob one is not. So that's kind of wild. And yeah, first units of works, the second edition Monopose boys. You mean these guys right here? I do like this guy. Like I like the aesthetic, the kind of samurai orc with an axe is kind of wild and cool. I wish they would do like at least one special edition mini that looked like this. It's just he's so small. Like I said, this guy's literally his height to the top of his head is the same height as the modern day Grot. He's just a little small. So the truck in my mind is like orcs need to loot absolutely. And yeah, the Ridge Hauler is the same size as the Battle Wagon. So if you want a Battle Wagon that's not the same as your original Battle Wagon, the Cargo 8 is like the perfect way to go. Okay, all right, let's get to boys. You guys are probably dying. I've been saying we've been getting to boys for like half an hour, I swear. All right, we're gonna save this one. That one was a special one. Let me get, because I got a whole pile of boys. Let me see. I am running out of desk space. I gotta come up with a better live stream setup when we're doing show off stuff, so that I got room to put all this junk down, and maybe get like a second camera that's like looking down at it too. That would be rad. Goals, stretch goals. Oh yeah, here's part of that tanker trailer for the Scorcher thing. Okay, boys. So, GORKAMORKA then got popular, and they decided to make more kits specifically for GORKAMORKA, and they're actually scaled differently than 40K. They kept that smaller scale on purpose, and one of the reasons was, see if I've got one. They came on different bases. So this is your standard 40K base at the time, right? 25 millimeter slot base. GORKAMORKA, because the rules were like on the truck, the transport capacity was literally how many boys you could physically stick on it. Then when you moved it, if any fell off, they died. So in order to get as many boys on there as possible, they created the GORKAMORKA base. So this tiny little base instead of this is how the game worked. And so they came out with smaller scale orcs that went with this base that were just for GORKAMORKA. Now obviously you could use them in 40K if you wanted to, but the whole idea was you used them in GORKAMORKA. Now, stick this guy here. Once again, let me grab my spectacles so I can actually read this guy. Hey, Swift, thank you for that. Oh man, we are up to 3 out of 5. If we get two more of the super chats, YouTube will push this like live while we're out. They'll push it, and you guys will see more people will randomly start appearing. I've been on somebody else's live stream and seen it happen. It's been pretty cool. All right, this guy's name. I need more light than that. This guy's name is Orc Brawler. All right, so this guy is a brawler, and you can see his slot is smaller than a 40K slot, and you would stick him in this smaller GORKAMORKA base and use him in GORKAMORKA. Now, obviously, again, has the modern orc aesthetic, right? Has that long, snouty face with the big gob on there, the smaller ears, but still pointy. Very cool. Look at the hammer. Look at the hammer he's got there. Isn't he cool? So this is a GORKAMORKA boy, as opposed to a 40K boy. Oh, use an old phone for the top-down camera. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, and yeah, the Necromunda. So that's actually, again, this is how this whole collection got started. For October, back before all our plans got nuked, I had picked this up, the Zone Mortalis Gang Stronghold for Necromunda, because this looks an awful lot like this. And I picked this up as well. And the whole idea was I was going to show off the GORKAMORKA fort and then build this and use pieces from the terrorist terrain, you know, the truck kit and stuff like that to orcify it and make a modern GORKAMORKA battlefield modern size. And that was kind of the whole idea, was I was gonna bring it in to today's standards. So yeah, that'd be cool. Swifty, does the super chat have to be from 5 different users? No, I don't think it does. I think you just need 5 super chats, period. Adventure Built Gaming, isn't this a spanner? No, this is not a spanner. Would you like to see the spanner? I can show you the spanner because I happen to own, and it says it right there on his little thing. Not that you can see it because it's backwards, but that says spanner. Once again, I will put him on his little. Maybe I won't put him on his little GORKAMORKA base, but this is the spanner. Notice he has a wrench, not a hammer. Granted, a wrench is still a hammer, especially when you're an orc, but yeah, he's got a pipe wrench. So we got a spanner and a brawler. How cool are those guys? Haha, BC. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. 1, 2, 3. That's 4. That does get us 4. We are 1 away. Good night. Do you want to say good night to the live stream?
Yeah.
Yeah? One of the grots, everyone.
Good night.
Hey, look at that. You got a super chat just for saying good night.
Thank you for the res.
Goal achieved. Thank you guys. Oh, Shady Snakes, appreciate you. BC, appreciate you, man. Thank you guys. That is so rad. Look at that. So you can see right there in the super chat, it says goal achieved. It says thanks to the participants. The Red Wunz Go Fasta has just achieved the goal. Rock on. Hey guys, do me a favor and hit the like button too, so that they can see that this is like all organic, and that there's lots of you engaged with it. Because the more engagements there is, that's the more that they like promote the channel. So that's rad. Love you guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, so there's other orcs from that. This is the runt herd. Look at that face. So this is where the orc face started out. This is the like in between the goblin and the modern orcs. You could see they still kind of have that ape style, where it goes down like that. But yeah, it's starting to get long. The ears are starting to get smaller. But he is a runt herd. I am gonna take this guy and use him as old Zodgrod Wartsnagga in my army because I like him way better than Zodgrod. And let me look. He's got a beard. Look at that, like, bristle brush beard. It is so cool. Oh, man, you guys are doing it some more. Walk on. Oh, man, Leova and Swift, thank you so much. Another one, let's go. Yeah, he's got chin hair squigs, right? Which, I mean, I do like a good chin hair squig. So, yeah, that's going to be my Zodgrod. Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so look, we gained 10% more people already. Just poof, like that. So yeah, it's gonna, and then it builds from there. It grows and grows and grows. I wonder if, can we set a second goal? Set it, or can we like, I think we could do it again. Can we only do super chats, or can we do, let's do that. We'll try it again. I was seeing if it, sometimes you could do like the channel memberships, but it looks like the goal is just for, oh, where is this? Where is this? Supers and highlighted. Ah. Live chat. No, we're going to keep it on live chat. We want to see everybody. Okay, cool. So set the goal again. We'll see if it does it again. It should do it again. Only ask the, yeah, so Adventure Built, there is definitely spanners with hammers. It's just this particular guy is not one of them. I'll hold up his thing. Hopefully you could see. Again, apologies that yours is backwards. But see, it says Brawler. And I think the hammer is different between the Brawler and the Spanner one. Because this hammer, again, if you look at it, it's like a wooden mallet that's been like smushed and, spread out and stuff like that. It's kind of held together with duct tape or rope. There's another one that's got a hammer that looks more like a metal hammer. I'm going to try to find him. That runt herder's head is bigger than an old boy's backside. It really is. And he's not a big runt herder. He's tiny. He's the size of like a second edition boy. But yeah, he's got a face only a mother could love. All right, let's look at some more of these boys. Because I got, like I said, a whole... Try to hold this up without dropping them. A whole boatload of them. And again, this is multiple lots that ended up at the same time, which is just kind of wild. Now, Shady 6, the original Zodgrod is cool as heck. If I found him, I would use him. I don't have him. It's the new one that I don't like. And I don't know what it is about it. Like, it's not like it's a bad sculpt or anything. I just don't like it. I think it's the hair squigs have kind of gotten crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I figured out how to do a super chat on the fly. I must have had enough scraps to grow a bit smarter. Nice. Brawler or predecessor to a current Tank Busta? Maybe? Maybe a Brawler is a predecessor to a Tank Buster. I'm not sure. But I think Brawler was more like a regular Orc fighter, because there's Brawlers with different things than hammers too. Let's get through the thing here. Let's look at, speaking of grots, here's a grot right here. This is a GORKAMORKA grot. And you can see that the goblin influence is still very, very much apparent in this little guy right here. How's he supposed to fit a whole Umi's head in your gob, right? Right? You gotta eat him. Oh, Burton Denali, she's got the original one. Nice. Hold on to that. That is fantastic. All right, show the grot. Where's some of these? Okay, so show the grot. Let's show a knob. And again, this is just Orc knob. That's all he is knob. Here is knob, and knob here is the size of a current boy. When I say current, I say maybe like a 3rd edition boy, and he's kind of got some stunty legs. This guy reminds me of the knob that you can make out of the Plastic Boys kit. That's got like the really big torso, but still uses the boy legs. This is the metal version of that. Look at the face. Look at that iron helmet, man. Isn't he wild? Yeah, I really like this guy. He is super, super, super stinking cool. Just as I'd got a haircut, maybe a brush and a shave, right? Yeah, then I'd like him. Then I'd like him. The sculpt is cool. Nothing to do with that. Well, here we go. Here's a grot that's got the same 3-horned helmet as the orcs. So that's another grot. I think it just says Gretchen on the little tab. Oh, here we go. So this one is just Orc. Look at that. He's got a cool face. Got the spiky stick there. Commando style. I like the almost Mohawk style top knot. He's rad. Orcs also need more metal helmets. Dude, have you seen the helmets in the Rekka Crew kit? They're fine. You get a ton of them, and they are compatible. So the new Orc heads are compatible. So the Rekka Crew, the Commandos, the Squig Hog Boys, and the Beast Snaggas, all of those heads interchange with each other. Just no problem. So, something to think about while you're kit bashing. I am holding that model. That's awesome. Yeah, there's definitely like some Blood Bowl influence in here too, for sure. Lego Master, good night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Need to be more Mohawks and Orcs. Fantastic. I would agree with that. So what else we got? Okay, so here, and we were talking earlier about sizes of Orcs. In GORKAMORKA, there was definitely sizes of Orcs, because there were youths that were like the younger Orcs that hadn't started getting up there, and then there were the Brawlers, and then there were like the boys and the knobs and stuff. Look at this guy. He's tiny. He's like the size of those truck drivers. Like, even just compare him to the Brawler, right? Like, it's not just the pose. He is literally smaller. His head is smaller. His face is smaller. Like, he's just a smaller boy. So yeah, GORKAMORKA had different size boys. Yeah, a lot of these were the same artist. This guy's 1997. Yeah, a lot of the sculptors did the same work, which is really cool. Oh, I love this one. This one's one of my favorite ones. Look at him with the axe. So he's like a little bit tougher of a youth. He's got the nose ring going on there, right? How cool is he? Let's see, what other metal worky. Got us a driver here. Okay, boss. Oh, and our gunner guy. I got a 3D print a guitar for him and turn him into the golf rocker. That top knot is just on point. Once again, guys, that didn't hear or forgot, the Golf Rockers brand new song comes out tomorrow. I'm gonna throw links up. You guys should all be watching it. Help their stream out. They put some work in that. Here is another different. Actually, is this? I swear I already showed this guy, but I just pulled him out of a new pile. I must have two of them. Oh no, they're different. Look at that. Kind of different versions of the same grot. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Now, we can get even older, though, because there's pre-GORKAMORKA. I have a Rekka crew. Definitely can't fit an Umi head in any of those new gobs. BC, do you have a new Imperial Guardsman, though? Their heads got like 50% smaller. You cannot use a current Catachan head on a new Cadian. They are like legit half the width. It's ridiculous. They are so tiny. So to me, I think it's their scaling orcs with the scale of everything else now that the Humi heads are so much smaller. But anyways, prior to GORKAMORKA, there were some plastic orcs. Look at this guy. Right? How cool is that? So from what I've been able to gather, this guy, so he predates the second edition starter box, obviously, because that's this orc. This is a Rogue Trader era orc. So Rogue Trader, the first edition of Warhammer 40k, very much was an RPG. But you could get whole squads. That's where the RTB-01, the beaky Space Marines came from, as well as these boys, the plastic Imperial Guardsmen and stuff, right? These guys are all Rogue Trader. There were Rogue Trader era orcs. And again, very goblin looking. They had that much shorter, squanchier face. And yeah, but so when GORKAMORKA came out, they didn't just do metal models, they had plastic ones too. But then they trying to get like here's a chunk of something, right? Well, that's a second edition guy. But yeah, so you plastic models. Oh, here we go. That's what I was looking for. This guy. So they did have these plastic kits that you could get to customize like the drivers and stuff. This guy right here would have been a Warbike rider, right? So these guys kind of bridge the gap between Rogue Trader and second edition, and then even kind of into third. Didn't know what GORKAMORKA was except regular mention. Big Nuts Bigs. How did it play? It played really cool. I didn't I never really played it back in the day, but I definitely saw it get played at the hobby shops more than once, and I've read through the rules that I have. It's basically, so you got two teams going on, right? And they have all these vehicles and all these boys, and you're racing around trying to get to the scrap and stuff. And not only do you move, but you're like, shooting and fighting with the other guys. So it's not just you getting there first, it's making sure you beat the other guy with it. It was a pretty quick rule set for the day. It was very damage heavy. Like, you were not going to finish a game without stuff blowing up everywhere, which was fantastic. But yeah, it made for a really, really, really fun game. Okay, let's get into some slightly newer stuff, because I do have some more metal that is slightly newer, including Storm Boys. So the OG Storm Boys were all metal. So you got these metal torsos and metal rockets for their back, and even metal heads to build your Storm Boys. And this was a common thing Games Workshop did in the day, and this would have been like third edition now. You would buy your boy kit, your plastic boy kit. It would give you 16 boy bodies, the same ones you get in the 11-man one now. And then the upgrade kits were metal. And so you would get like the stick bomber set was the plastic boys, and then you had metal arms with the stick bombs in them. And then same thing with the storm boys, and then as well as your big shooter boy, your rocket launcher boy, all that kind of stuff. They were metal bits that went on the plastic bodies. Yes, Flips and Snashes, the the metal storm boys. I laugh because this lot that I got with all the metal storm boys, they're all broken in half from falling over. That was very much a thing that they did. Oh man, oh check this out. Dirt Hermit is gonna want this because he's our resident. Uh, oh shoot, my brain is failing at the end of the day. Not the Death Skulls, not the who were the sneaky ones, the commando guys and stuff. Not snake bites, blood axes. Apologies, Dirt Hermit, when you're watching this later that it took me so long. Blood axes. He is our resident blood axe. Look at the original commando guy, man. He's got the SMG on there and that head. He's so cool. I might have to send him to Dirt Hermit. But yeah, so part of also what I have are some second edition orc riders. So these guys would have ridden boars. They're boar boys. You see the snakebite banner on there. So we had war bikers and we had boar boys. And the boar boys, thank you everyone with the blood axes. I was gonna get there. I got there eventually. But the boar boys have been replaced in current times with the squig hog boys. Back in the day, they actually rode pigs, pigs, not squigs, pigs. And these were some of the guys. But the cool thing was, you could get these metal riders that rode on plastic pigs, believe it or not. Also very top heavy, although they had the bigger rectangular base. You could get these guys in the different clans. So like this guy is a legit snakebite guy, but I also have a Bad Moon Rider. So look at him. He's got a cyborg arm up there. He's got the plasma gun, right? He's all decked out. He's got the mohawk and the armor and stuff. But he would ride the cyborg just like the snakebite guy. And so you could actually buy different castings for your clan, and really customize your army that way, which is just super rad. Yeah, now the pigs are in AOS and Old World. I'd love for actual pigs to come back too. I think it'd be cool if they brought boar boys back, but instead of being ridden by orcs, they were ridden by grots, and they were part of like the new grot army that could be happening. I think that would be super rad. I would love to throw a squad of pig riding grots in there. It would be super rad. There's a Blood Axe War Boss used for your Kamizar for your army. Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. The old metal ones that were clan specific had so much drip. This guy right here, he's got a snakebite banner on him, but I don't know that he is snakebite. He's a little too modern looking, but I haven't found him in the catalog yet. I've been poring over old scans of old Games Workshop catalogs for these guys because they're just so old. I don't have anything that has records of them. Yeah, like this guy here, he's definitely Blood Axe. Like he's got all the ammo pouches and the stick bombs and the the bandoliers and stuff. Right, so I've got all these different riders for the boars, but I don't have any of the boars, which is super sad. Oh, this guy's an old. This is Rogue Trader era. This is a two-piece mini. Again, this is what the old orc heads kind of look like modern squigs, honestly. They look like a squig head. But yeah, that's the top half to a two-piece Rogue Trader era metal model. The Shady Snakes, you are 100% on point. I am absolutely using these riders for my Every Kit as an Orc Kit. If you guys remember, Episode number 2, I built the Tyranid Winged Prime that one of the viewers sent in and turned it into a Knob on Smash a Squig. So I need to make 3 Squig Hog Boys to go with it to make it a whole unit. And I've been slowly collecting pieces for it. So I have 3 different mounts that are all looted mounts. And now I've got all these different riders. I want to use riders in order to put that set together. And that will definitely be a video. Again, once my claw is working again. Which, hey, speaking of claw, get myself a power claw. Use the newer boars with DACA guns as your war bikers. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Using boars as the war bikers, or even I've seen people using boars as their Squig Hog Boys because they don't like the squigs. Both are cool. Although the boars are kind of small, even the new AOS ones. I've also seen the Goblin Wolf Rider guys. Oh, this is such a good bit. So earlier we were talking about how every single bit had its own part number. This would have had a part number. This is not sawed off of a kit. That is a legit bit made by itself. And so you used to be able to open the catalog and it would have like a 16-digit part number that you put in there. And you'd be able to buy this thing. It'd be like $1.50 or something like that. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong. 30 years ago, that was a lot of money. You could get all the choicest bits to kit bash your stuff together. It'd be super duper rad. It's been such a trip going through all these bits, this original metal, and just oh yeah. And so there's a casting tab, so it'd come with these casting tabs on it. You'd have to cut and file the casting tabs off. But there's a stick bomb arm that I was telling you about for the regular orc boys. Weren't some of those riders for the metal knob bikes? Yes and no. So the ones for the knob bikes, their legs look different. Let me find the legs again. Give me a sec. Legs. Where's the legs? Where did he go? Put him down somewhere. Oh, come on. You know, this would be a lot easier if I wasn't a real life orc and like actually put things back where I found them instead of just randomly dropping them back down on the ground. There we go. These are the legs for the bike. You can see they're very like straightforward. That's biker legs. The legs on these guys, if you look at it from the side, right, they have a bend at the knee. So when they sit on the boar, their legs kind of go almost behind them. Whereas the biker, you notice the waist is straight, the legs go out straight, like that. So that's how you can tell the difference if you've got an old orc rider mini, whether or not it's for the boar or the bike, is which direction the legs go. The bikers were like old school chopper riders. They were just like this, man. They had the great big giant handlebars, the gorilla bar, whatever the heck it was called. You see, newer boars are the same size as squigs and way realistic the boars you're thinking of. Yeah, no, you're right, BC. So there's new boars that are the size of like the new squigs. The old boars are the size of like war bikes. So make sure that you use the right size boar if you're gonna do a conversion. So the old school cyborgs and regular boars that these guys would ride on are like the size of the war bikes. They're a little short, but you can lengthen out. They fit on the new oval base really nice. Anyways. But the new ones, the big ones, they're the size of the squigs. Got a sweet custom shooter here. And notice that the clip is actually a different bit. And they would have multiple different clip bits, again, so you could customize. What else we got in here that's super duper rad? Oh, it's a wee little snotling. Look how tiny it is. That's a snot. Isn't that wild? It's so little. Like even compared to the second edition boy, Look how tiny he is. That's what a snotling is. I think it'd be cool to get snotlings on a base, like the way that you can get like scarab swarms on a base and nurglings on a base. That'd be rad. Yeah, ape hangers. Thank you, Shady Snakes. Ape hangers. Kumagans, kit bashing weird stuff in the middle era must have been unbelievably tough. Actually, it was easier than you think. One of the things that made it easy is everything was standardized. So, like, look at this middle torso here. You notice the arm joins are both flat, and the bottom of the torso is a ball, and same thing with the neck. They were all like this. So every single leg and every single body were interchangeable with each other. Every single arm were interchangeable with each other. Every single head was interchangeable with each other. So it was really easy to be like, oh, I want leg 3 and body 7 and head 12 and left arm 3 and right arm 2 and just put it all together. You weren't actually doing a whole lot of like cutting or anything like that. And then when you did, this is white metal, so it's not lead. There was lead way back in the day. Some of these Rogue Trader era guys might be lead. But the second, third, fourth edition stuff, the metal is white metal, and white metal is actually kind of really soft. Famously, you can bend it, like just with your hands. And, I don't want to bend this guy, but check out this grot with the wrench. I gotta use him somewhere. But anyways, what I would do is, so for example, this axe guy, this is how he was molded, right? Is with that axe straight up and down. And that's very much not a organic pose. And so what you could do is you could actually twist his wrist a little. No, I broke his feet off. Everyone should, right? But you could twist his arm and kind of here we go. Make the axe, instead of being straight, be it kind of more like that. And you could like use a little heat, use some pliers. You could twist more, but you could actually get dynamic poses out of bending the metal a little bit because it was a little bit pliable, which was really, really rad. Metal knob spikes were driven by an orc boy the size of a current grot and had a metal knob on the back seat with a melee weapon and a shooter. Yeah, you're right. They did. Those original ones did have that. They were 2 pieces. Not a big fan of the squig hog with the wheel. I like some more squig hogs with the cyborg legs. You know, that's funny. I really like the one with the wheel because I think that really throws in the mechanical aspect of them. But yeah, the cyborg legs are like really hard to beat, especially when you paint them. And if you paint your squigs like the really bright red color and then you've got the metal leg, it becomes really apparent on the tabletop, which is super duper rad. Yeah, pewter white metal. It's the same thing. Let's see. What other things that we got in here that we could show you that are worth showing? That custom shoot is a nice piece. Got the chain on there. Looking cool. Yeah, I don't know, man, just dozens and dozens and dozens of these. And then, like, all these little bits, like, check out this little, it's not a rocket launcher, it's like a little grenade launcher or smoke launcher thing that you'd add on to the truck. I got, like, little things like that. And I got this snotling. The funny thing is, a lot of these metal bits, they ended up using these to make the plastic boys kits. Like this head is totally in the boys kit. It is the exact same head. So it was really funny that a lot of these bits got remade in plastic. There's the Runt Herd Power Claw, or grab a stick a thing. Oh yeah, like this. This bus bowl. This is a metal one, right? But that is the exact same pole you get in plastic in the kit. Swift. So with contract pricing, were old boys always so cheap? I want 1 kit of new Monaco's boys. Yeah, so Swift, that is actually why old boys and the current truck are so cheap. Is that contract price was an original price. Now, Games Workshop has done price increases almost every year for like the last 5 years. So it has increased, but only by that percentage amount. So if the prices they went up like what 1% this year, 2% last year, something like that. If you go all the way back, that's like the OG price. But yeah, it they don't go well. The new boys were gonna sell for 60, so you got to make the old boys 60. It's not how it works. It's by individual SKU number. The SKU SKU, that's the of course this box predates. Oh no, there it is. So this barcode thing, that's a SKU. That's an SKU number. So they contract the pricing by number. So the box is the box is the box. So the price on this box should be the same everywhere, is the idea behind that. But that's why we know we're going to get new boys, because they hate having two different SKUs that are the same kit. And as far as wanting new Monopose boys, hot tip for you. Right now, Combat Patrol magazine is out, and they are getting to the orcs. And the Combat Patrol magazine is the old Combat Patrol, which is where the new Monopose boys came in. So you could actually get the correct issues and buy those for way cheaper than the boys kit, and you would get the new boys. If you can't buy the Combat Patrol magazine directly, there are a ton of people reselling it on eBay and stuff like that. It's like more than the list price on the magazine, but it's still way less than the actual kit. That's what I would do if you wanted to get your hands on the Monopose boys, because that is way, way, way cheaper than buying the box, and you do not want to buy the box at full price. It'll twist right back on, said the Mad Talk. Needs more staples too. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff on that. Let's see. All right, we are getting past 10 o'clock, and we are getting past an hour and a half on here. We should be wrapping up. Let's see. Should we show off one more thing? Oh, how the pilot. The pilot is kill it. Look at, I mean, that is some style right there. Yes, Defluce Asher's War Boss and Mega Armor was issue 41. I did a video on cheap ways to get orcs a couple of months ago, I want to say, but when we learned the issue numbers for all the orcs, and I put it all in the description of that video. So you guys will have to go look for that one. And then I think we have it pinned on the Discord somewhere too. And if not, we probably should pin it. That would be a lot smarter. What is that? Now that's a custom pistol, man. The wheel squig has grown on me, but it turned me off initially. Monopose kit. Found on eBay for $8. Yeah, the Monopose kit, man, it hit the market. And at first it was expensive because everybody wanted one. And then as soon as everybody figured out that it wasn't the right loadout and that you couldn't make it like all shooters or all sluggas, that price dropped like a rock. I ended up with like 3 squads because people were giving them away. They're like, I don't want this. Like, I bought the Combat Patrol. Like, yeah, like I'll give it to you. I'll trade it to you. Whatever. Like, they were super duper 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 cheap to find there for a while. So definitely don't pay crazy prices. Oh, look at this biker body. That is a killer helmet on there. Yeah. Anyways, cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff. So I've got literal pounds of these metal guys that are both Rogue Trader, 2nd edition GORKAMORKA era stuff. And then I've got all these bikes and buggies, and I've got all these forts that all kind of came at once, which is just wild. That pilot is Dragmech Blitzcart. This guy's got a name? The one I just showed? Where'd he go? I dropped him back in the bottom. There he is. This guy, he's got a name? This is Dragmech Blitzcart, everybody. I need to find all the catalogs online and actually sort these guys and get their names and stuff, because I'm sure some of these are probably worth lots of teeth. Which, you know, like I said, I cannot get into collecting these because I know how I am, and I would need to be a completionist, and I would be very, 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 very broke trying to collect all this stuff. But I know that there are people out there that do. And I would love to see some of this end up in collections with people that really, really appreciate them, and build them and paint them and old hammer with them. So yeah, if any of this stuff is your jam, let me know and we can talk. We can talk. Oh yeah, it comes with this Def Copta. Ah. Just angled the wheelie squig a bit differently to keep my tuners a bit different. Oh, on the Squig Hog Boys, while we're talking about kit bashing them, you guys know that the rider parts are interchangeable, and the squig heads on 2 of the 3 squigs are interchangeable. So what I did is when I built my second unit, I swapped the 2 heads between the 2 that changed. There's one that it doesn't just on its own, but if you trim it a little bit, it can. And then you have to kind of fill in if you use a different head on that one. And so I think that's what it is. I actually swapped all 3 heads. And then the riders, what you want to do is you want to keep the legs and the one arm that's holding the squig the same, but you can swap the torsos and the weapon arm and the heads as well as the rider grots. And so my second unit, that's what I did. You have to go way back. I said that was October of what, 23 that I built those, but I did a whole video on swapping the Squig Hog Boys around just in the kit. It was a super easy way to quote unquote kit bash them without even needing any other kits. But that's also when I figured out that the heads were interchangeable, and I stole a bunch of heads from the Beast Snagga kit and swapped them out with the heads that were in the Squig Hog Boys kit. So that was cool. Yeah, the original Metal Def Copter was definitely that homage to the orthotic pilot. I had one. I had it forever. I loved it. But one of you guys, that was like the kit that you most out of everybody, and I traded it to you. I don't even remember what for, but I was super happy to see it go to a loving home, where it then got kit bashed into a Chinork. As like part of the Chinork is like this Voltron orc copter that is just mad in all the right ways. I love it. Just use the old actual workers. I mean, yeah, you can do that too. I really like the Rekka crew heads on the Beast Snaggas and the Squig Hog Boys looks really cool. That's been kind of my favorite, but I also really like those heads on the Commandos. I just like those heads a lot. They're very old school. They've got like a lot of the like bowl helmets that like cut off right at the nose with like a one slit in it and stuff. They're just really cool. Dragmech was in the Diggin' Ops book. You know, unfortunately, I didn't get really any books with any of this stuff. I think that's probably what I really need for this collection if I wanted to like complete it, is to get the GORKAMORKA books and the Diggin' Op books and stuff like that to go with these guys. But again, that's probably way more teeth than I have. So we will probably not be doing that. But what I should do again is probably find somebody that's gonna love these. Like Mr. Blood Axe here. I think I got more than one of this guy. Because this is not the one I picked up earlier, is it? No, it's not. He's right here. He was on a base. Yeah, and they're different too. They are 2 different Blood Axe dudes. Commandos. First gen orc commandos. I will put those 2 together and try to remember to keep them together. Yeah. So that is my boxes of GORKAMORKA and related that all kind of came in at the same time by accident. So that was fun. That was really cool. I could find them digital. You know, that's a good idea. I could find the digital ones and just print them out and stuff. All right. So on the chat thing, I said that I would promise Adventure Book Gaming, wish you could see all the metal you got. Okay, if you want to see all the metal, make sure you're on Discord, because it's really too hard to show these on camera and or like on the video and have them get it. I'm gonna take pictures, and I will post photos of all of this stuff throughout this week. So if you want to see all this stuff, because I've got like all the unpunched Dig-a-Knob stuff in the GORKAMORKA box. I've got the fort. I've got all these guys. I'm going to do photos of all of it in the Discord, so you can go there and see it. And remember, our Discord's totally free. You don't need a link or anything, or an invite, you can just come join us. So if you're not on the Discord yet, get on the Discord. It's super easy. It's probably not linked on this, but it's linked on all the regular videos. Just come by there. I will throw up photos of all this stuff because I'm probably going to need you guys' help to catalog some of these because they're so difficult to identify, especially when you're talking like I've just got, a bit and I don't have those catalogs, like trying to figure out like because I've got like a lot of bodies, and so it's like, well, which body is this body? He's got like a dented chest plate with 2 bullet holes in it, but like I don't know which guy that is. And these don't have, the names of the part numbers on them like the ones with the little tabs do. These guys, like, they've got the name on the tab. At least I could look that up with the year, and that usually gets me close. But all these ones that don't have the tabs, man, they're really, really difficult. So, Adventure Bullet Gaming, how to find your Discord? You click on the link in the descriptions. But let me grab. I can throw a invite to server. Edit invite link for never expire. Generate. Copy. I'm going to throw it in the chat right now. If I can find where my chat went. Where'd it go? Oh no. Where did am I? There. There we go. Okay. And paste. Boom. There you are in the chat. Just click that link that brings you to our Discord server. There's no paywall or anything. You're just in. And look around. We got like over 600 people on the Discord. It's a really, really active Discord. We've got a fantastic buy, sell, trade section, all that stuff, which is really cool. And then I promised a discount link. So let's make sure we throw that up too. Let me go to the create discount. We'll do code GORKAMORKA, and that'll be good. 10% off. Then I gotta tell it on which things. We'll go to Go Fasta, to Mordaka, to October, and to Red Squig. For all customers, no minimums. That sounds good. And we'll have it go. See, today's the 15th. So we'll go all day tomorrow, and then, I said we were going to do a second one. We had a couple come in before we set the goal, and then we got one here at the after. So I'm going to say close enough that we got 2 of them. So this is going to be good for 48 hours. All right. Oh, let's set that to there we go. So end date. So you'll get all day the 16th and all day the 17th. Until midnight Pacific time to use this code. It'll be 10% off on everything. Let me get the copy that and then click save. Right? Thank you for bearing with me. Oh, shareable link. Perfect. Look at that. We'll copy that and we'll throw that in the chat too. And then also this way here, if anyone is watching this after we've done the live and it goes up on not live, you can click on that and still get the discount. So there you go. In the chat, there's the link to the Discord, and there's the link to the new discount code. So next 2 days, you got until the end of the day, the 17th, 10% off anything. Red Squig, Mordaka, Goes Fasta, and October at the merch store. 10% off. It's not gonna make it to you by Christmas, but hey, new year, more merch, something like that. To help you out, because I really, really appreciate you guys helping me out with the channel and boosting it like that. That does a ton for the channel, not just on this video, but now the next video I do, it's going to spread to more people because you guys did that. So I really, really do. John Taylor, what did I miss? Discount? I'm playing Shoot Split Teeth. If you look right above your comment there, John, there is a link to the web store with an automatic discount. The code is GORKAMORKA. It gives you 10% off just about everything in the store. I think it's everything but stickers. As a thank you for the super chats that happened in this live stream, because you guys really helped to boost the channel over the last couple hours, and I really, really appreciate it. And you can use that through midnight Pacific on the 17th. So you've got all day tomorrow and all day Wednesday to use that up. And then again, if you want to see photos of my literal pounds of metal, I'm going to start sorting these guys out and throwing pictures up on Discord, which is also linked down in the description, so that you guys can help me identify these things, but also we can see how stinking cool they are. And again, if you're really into this old stuff, and you want it for your own personal collection, start hitting me up, DM me over at Discord. Like I said, I'm not looking for market rate on this stuff. I know some of the stuff goes for absolute gold. That's not who I am and what I do. I want to see it go to the people that truly love it and care about it. And, so if you've been hunting a Dig-a-Knob upgrade set for your GORKAMORKA collection, it looks like I've got a unpunched one and potentially a punched one too. I might have 2.5. Get that to someone that's really gonna love it and appreciate it. We can talk. There are orc things I'm looking for. Always happy to trade because I'm a real life orc and trading is fun. I mean, that's how I got all this stuff, was by trading for it. I didn't even know what I was getting into. It was just like, oh, I got these big boxes of cool old orc stuff. Would you be interested? And of course, my answer is always yes. Just so that we could show it off on the channel, even if we don't keep it. It's fun to show it off, talk about it, and all that stuff. But this one is not going. This is staying forever. Again, we're going to finish painting the buggy in the box art style, and then this is going up on the display. And same thing with the GORKAMORKA box. I'm happy to get rid of the contents if people want to collect the contents, because I don't need to display a fort. But the box is staying. I am keeping the box because, I mean, that's just, come on, how cool is that? It's so cool. I mean, this guy right here, right, on the war track, he's popping a wheelie and shooting the dagger and having the time of his life. Orcs are so much fun. All right. Yeah, and yes, get your October items. Remember, all the October merch. Grab one here. Whole pile of stuff. So all the October merch, which there's the hat, and there's the t-shirts. These are all going away. December 31st, 2025, they are gone forever. We're going to have Velgarn do a different logo for next year. I don't know if we're going to keep doing the year thing or not, but because it was our first time doing it together this year, we wanted to do it like that. Plus you put old Big Macs October on there, which is just super duper rad. But we've got the shirts in two different styles. You can either get them with this black and white logo, or you can get them with the red and white logo, depending on what color the shirt is, which is really cool. But yeah, December 31st, we're taking these down, and that's it. That we're not going to let this design go out in this way anymore. So if you want an October shirt, use that discount code and grab one now, because when we're done, we're done. Like I said, we're going to do a totally different design for next year. So yeah, if you really like this one, make sure you pick one up. Yeah. All right, guys, that's been 2 hours. My throat is killing me. All my timers are timed down here. All the batteries are dying on the cameras and stuff. So let's call it here. It was a super fun couple of hours hanging out, doing our thing. Really, really like doing these live streams. I will be doing one next week. We'll have the Garrots here, so it might be kind of bonkers. I'll talk with them and see if there's anything they want to do with that kind of stuff. So if you guys are into Garrot shenanigans, you'll have fun next week. The week after that, we will be taking off, though, for the holidays, and then we'll come back to it in January. So that is the live streaming coming up. And then, yeah, watch for the videos. There'll be a couple more coming out. Use the merch store. You guys know the drill. Really appreciate all of you. Thanks so much, everybody that popped in. This has been just like 118 people through the stream at some point in time, which is wild. Really, really appreciate it. All the super chats, you guys are awesome. All the channel members, you guys are amazing. Everybody that supports me over on Patreon. I do have a Patreon. I never plug it because I'm terrible at it. But that is linked on this if you want to join the Patreon. I do some behind the scenes videos that I do post over there that are just kind of for over there to kind of give them something too. So yeah, all sorts of fun stuff, different ways to support the channel. Appreciate all of it. Definitely helps through the times with this. Still off and on at work with all this stuff going on. You guys know how that goes. So anyways, that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me this Monday night, having some more hobby time. Definitely looking forward to hopefully soon being able to use this thing and we can actually do hobbying on the hobby stream again. Ooh, Grotnanigans, new merch idea. I love it. I'm gonna do tour dates on the back of the new t-shirts. Again. Yeah, so we've been talking about tour date shirts, and then Dirt Hermit on the Discord today, he was like, I want a muscle shirt that's got orc tattoos all over it, right? And so you got to have like the heart with the paper on it, like one that says Gork and one that says Mork. Look like one X out or something like that. I don't know. We got to come up with some shenanigans. But yeah, definitely gonna be some new merch coming out. In fact, I'm working on a brand new one that should be out January 1st. It's what's going to replace the October one in the web store. So we will have a whole brand new design come January 2026. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all again for hanging out. It's been an absolute blast. I'll get this up on YouTube as soon as we are done figuring this out. And yeah, that'd be super duper awesome. Once again, you guys are amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll catch you on the next video or the next live stream. And until then, walk on! So everybody dies.